Good morning everyone, I hope everyone is doing well today. So we are sort of a day early for our dev blog, we're back on a Thursday, but there's a good reason for it. It's that they've also released a patch today, actually a milestone that was not previously announced, called Mormont. Now, I tried to hint on stream last night that there was a patch on the way, don't tell you Jen that, but you know, if you're eagle-eyed and you watch Steam database and see when updates have gone out to the QA and etc, then you can kind of work out when something's on the way. So what does Mormont actually bring? Well, firstly it's bringing several previously announced items, so snipers for all nations, the LRRP overhaul, some new units, some soundtracks, map reworks, urban improvements, and new language or languages, I'm not sure, and more. And of course various balance changes. So as ever, they will give us first a little bit of historical context to this figure. So as most of you will be aware, every milestone for WARNO is named after a French marshal from the Napoleonic Wars. Auguste Frédéric Louis Vice de Mormont. You know what, it's probably not got the T pronounced at the end of it, because French words generally don't, so I think it's Mormont, without the T being pronounced. He trained as an artillery officer and immediately adopted the principles of the revolution and fought in its armies, where he quickly became acquainted with fellow penniless artillery officer Napoleon Bonaparte, with whom he was even a roommate for some time. When Napoleon rose to power, Mormont was never far away, aide de camp to his friend. Then promoted to a general in Egypt, he was among those Napoleon entrusted with his coup d'état of the 18th Brumaire. Although promoted to a general of the division and a general inspector of the artillery at age 30 only in 1804, Mormont was disappointed not to be made marshal with the first promotion. For Mormont, although a very good artillery officer, was an ambitious and self-important man, sensible, fawning, intelligent and well educated, a cynic with a sharp tongue. He would always consider himself above his peers, a trait which would lead him to occupy a unique and dark place among Napoleonic marshals. Governor of the Illyrian provinces, nowadays part of Slovenia and Croatia, he was recalled back to Napoleon's side for the 1809 campaign in Austria, when he was finally promoted to Marshal of the Empire and Duke of Ragusa. Sent to Spain, he proved one of Wellington's most able and dangerous opponents, before being recalled to Napoleon's side for the campaign of 1813 in Germany. In 1814 in France, his performance would have secured him place as the best general of the campaign, had his vanity not brought him to occupy another place in Napoleonic history, that of the Judas among the marshals, the man who betrayed and brought Napoleon down. His Sixth Corps amounted for about a third of Napoleon's small Grande army of 1814, when Mormont let himself be convinced by royalist conspirators that he would be France's saviour, putting an end to the war if he would remove his troops from under Napoleon's command, which he did, leaving Napoleon with no choice but to abdicate. In doing so, the deposed emperor commented about his former friend, "The ungrateful one, he will be more unhappy than I will." For Napoleon knew that Mormont had been lured by unctuous words, but would be forever remembered as a traitor, and indeed for the rest of his life, under whichever government he served, Mormont would always be reminded by fellow officers and court members that he once betrayed his master and could not be trusted. Ragusa, from his title as Duke of Ragusa, even became a byword for to betray. And even today, the ostracism against Mormont the traitor can still be felt. From Paris, Intramuros is separated from its suburbs by a ring of boulevards. They are named after each of Napoleon's marshals. Well, no, not all. Two are missing. Grouchy, because he was wrongfully accused of being responsible for the defeat at Waterloo, and of course Mormont for his betrayal. Despised by his peers, Mormont ended his life in self-exile at the Russian court in St. Petersburg and then in Venice. Okay, history lesson over, let's get on to the good stuff. So first up are snipers. So the milestone introduces the much expected snipers. Although scoped rifles also make an appearance with the LRRP2, the only units truly worthy of the name and thus the trait sniper are two-man recon infiltration teams. Other scope-equipped soldiers in various squads are the marksmen. They get more accurate rifles, but that is all. They are not getting the sniper bonus. all nations will get sniper teams, although not all divisions. Scout sniping, in its modern definition, was an Anglo-Saxon tradition, started with Canada in World War II and passed on to foreign special forces, but never as widespread as English-speaking armies. Therefore, while the British and American divisions have some, only a selected few other divisions have special forces snipers attached. Sniper units all come as two-man teams with very good optics and the sniper trait, the latter granting them, when static, only an accuracy bonus and +1 stealth level. And the list of current sniper teams added are the French Sniper SAS for the 11th Parachutist Division. Other divisions getting sniper squads are the West German 2nd Panzer Grenadiers, the East German 4th Mordsuchen Division, the Soviet or Russian 35th, the British Sniper will be in all divisions, and the American snipers will be in all American divisions. Beyond that, there are also scoped rifles, which are divided into two categories: bolt action and semi-automatic. The former has longer range and better accuracy but a slow rate of fire. The latter has a shorter range, less accuracy, but you guess it, a better rate of fire. Sniper teams preferably use bolt-action rifles when available to the nation, while semi-automatic ones can be more commonly found in non-sniper squads. The following rifles have been added to the game: the French F2 Bolt, the British L96A1 Bolt, the American M14 Semi-Auto, the American M24 Bolt, the West German PSG-1 Semi-Auto, the Soviet SVD Dragunov Semi-Auto, and the Soviet VSS Ventores Semi-Auto. Next up are the LRRP squads. So LRRP stands for Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol. You know those scouts with the GSR trait? So the Fernspeyer, the SS Patrol, the LRS, the Special Aufklärung, and the Spetsnaz GRU. Now, the GSR trait has been introduced. We have reworked the LRRP squads to fit roughly the same pattern. A veteran 6-man team with the GSR trait and mostly light weapons. In some cases, weaponry has been adapted to fit a marksman with a scoped rifle but no sniper trait. Therefore, we are inviting you to check them for differences. The only nation remaining without an LRRP is France. That's why Mormont introduces the new Dragon's Paras, a squad which fills this role with the 5th E Division. The 13th Dragon's Parachutists, or 13E RDP, was the French First Army's elusive French LRRP unit, its eyes and ears. So what else has changed? So there are some new units and models. So with Oudinot, they introduced the military police trait and the military police units, obviously, but only NATO had such troops. The reason wasn't a specific bias against Pact, but because military law enforcement didn't work the same way in both sets of armies. As a result, there wasn't a direct counterpart for Soviet and East German divisions. Mormont now rectifies this by adding an equivalent for both the East German and Russian forces, and they have been added to all of the Pact divisions. We're also introducing a second MiG-29, same variant but a different loadout, a cheaper one. The reason is because the 39th needed choice between the top-of-the-line MiG-29 and a lesser armed but cheaper one, but also to feature a new gorgeous camo. Just look at this beauty in the background. Now, though these were already featured in-game, we have reworked the MiG-27 LGB and Seed with their specific nose, and in the process we reskinned the LGB one with its own specific skin. Other than that, there has been a rework of a couple of maps, so thank you very much for the feedback, they say. So regarding Cyrus, we've improved the treatment of the plateau edges, which previously had too many trees blocking units' line of sight towards important strategic points. Additionally, we've made graphical improvements to both Cyrus and Two Lakes, including modifying the urban densities within the cities. Our goal was to bring more realism to the cities by reducing the size of gardens around the housing and redesigning some districts. We've also enhanced lakesides on both of the maps, adding new textures and assets, as well as reworking the color scheme and lighting to reinforce their overall appearance. We've also optimized the game's performance in order to improve the gameplay experience on these maps. And finally, 3 new maps have been added to ranked mode: Two Ways, Black Forest Storm, and Loop. And furthermore, due to popular demand, 4 new soundtracks or music tracks have been added to the game for you Synthwave lovers. But last but not least, there is now also a Polish translation of the game. It is still incomplete in this version, but rest assured the rest will be added soon. We wish to thank Green HD, and hope you will too, for his heroic efforts in bringing that localization to the game. And of course, balance changes which you can find and the link below. I won't read through them all. And they add one last thing. What about fobs, they say? Well, fobs were meant to be delivered with this milestone, but we detected a last-minute bug with them. Waiting for it to be fixed and rebuilding the version meant delaying Mormont to at least Friday, and you know we don't release things on a Friday if we can help it, so hence we would have to push back the release till next week. We considered it was better to deliver Mormont without it in order to fix the fob properly, and then release it to you ASAP in a hotfix. And that's all for this week, folks. It's actually quite a long one because obviously it's got a nice big history section. But thank you for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. If you're interested, I will, of course, stick in a couple of images from their Instagram at the end. Otherwise, I will see you all soon.